welcome to another edition of Stony Brook News by Stony Brook Media Group. I'm Justin Mitzelmaker. It's officially been a week since the House of Representatives passed the $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, a bipartisan initiative gaining the support of 13 Republicans and all but 6 House Democrats. The bill now sits on the desk of President Biden, where he will sign it into law on Monday. The bill plans to invest billions of dollars in improving America's infrastructure while creating millions of union jobs. Most of the spending is going towards roads, bridges, railroads, the power grid, and broadband expansion to increase internet in rural and low-income communities while providing lower internet bills for low-income citizens. Billions of dollars will also fund the environmental side of the act, which includes addressing climate change and financing water and pipe cleanup, removing inactive fossil fuel sites, drought infrastructure in western states, adding electric vehicle charging stations, and electric school buses. The almost $1.8 trillion Build Back Better Act, led by the Democrats, which aims to be the social and climate spending adjacent package, is still in negotiations amongst moderates and progressives. Speaking of ongoing negotiations, protests at Stony Brook University continue as members of the Labor's International Union of North America consistently gather at the entrance to campus grounds. It all began last week when union members of the Long Island area came to the south entrance of campus with giant props, including inflatable rats, open coffins, and expressive signs. The protests erupted due to a $37 million contract to renovate the Javits Lecture Center, which ended up going to NIRAM, a New Jersey-based construction company, putting union members on Long Island at odds with the State University Construction Fund's choice. The labor union's ultimate goal is to receive a project labor agreement that will allow members of the LIUNA to work on the job at an agreed-upon wage. The Office of Campus Planning, Design, and Construction has yet to respond on whether any plans are in place to meet with the union to come to a resolution. Despite any obstacles, the North American Union continues to protest in the hopes that their voices will be heard and that they will receive their desired wages. Today, however, is all about pop culture. Taylor Swift sent Twitter into a meltdown after dropping her hotly anticipated album, Red, Taylor's version, at midnight, which is a re-recorded version of her 2012 original. Red, Taylor's version, is the second of Swift's 6 planned re-recorded albums that will grant her full ownership to her songs, as the original master recordings are owned by Big Machine Records. The Stroke of Midnight also blessed us with the new Beyoncé song, Be Alive, part of the soundtrack for the upcoming film King Richard, which tells the story of Coach Richard Williams and his tennis champion daughters, Venus and Serena. The upbeat tune expresses gratefulness for life, sisterhood, and pride in being Black. Music isn't the only thing people are buzzing about. Colder weather means upcoming winter sports, and Sasha Podzorov is here with an update.
Thanks, Justin. It's mid-November, which means Stony Brook Athletics is at a crossroads between its fall and winter sports seasons. Both Stony Brook soccer teams wrapped up their respective seasons in the last 2 weeks. Now, women's soccer weren't able to reach the Americas playoffs after winning the last 2 conference titles, while men's soccer and Conference Rookie of the Year Jonas Bichkus came up short in the quarterfinals, losing to UMBC on penalty kicks. But with November comes college basketball, and both Stony Brook teams have high expectations after being picked to finish atop the America East in the preseason polls. Women's basketball opened their season on Tuesday, crushing Delaware State 87-46 on the night. Their championship and NCAA tournament banners were unveiled. The men's team, however, lost their opening game 74-52 to George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia. Next up for them, a trip to Lawrence, Kansas, and a massive test against the 3rd-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Now, some fall sports are still in play, and Stony Brook volleyball concludes its regular season slate tonight against UMBC. I had a chance to catch up with the team prior to the match and hear about their mindset going into the Americas playoffs.
Stony Brook Volleyball is a team of championship pedigree. 5 players still remain from the 2018 Americas title team that went undefeated in conference play and hosted the playoffs. Just a year prior, in 2017, the Seagulls didn't have as easy of a road.
I remember my freshman year, we didn't think that we were going to make it into the tournament, and when we did, it was just an awesome experience, and we were kind of the underdogs going into it, and then being able to come out and win that championship just felt awesome.
This year, it's not as tense. Stony Brook has known their playoff spot secure after clinching it back on Halloween. Still, a lot of comparisons can be drawn between that 2017 roster and this year's squad.
As a staff, we have been drawing a lot of similarities between the 2017 season and this team, and part of that is the youth and just kind of a sophomore group that had, a part of a season last year, but a lot of sophomores on the court and a young team. I think the other piece of that is just coming in as a lower seed not hosting, and really trying to put ourselves in a position where we're competing with confidence at the end of the year going into the championship. I think it's anybody's game. It's a matter of who competes the best next weekend.
After missing out on postseason play the last 2 seasons, this year will be the first playoff experience for many on the roster, including spring all-conference first-team selection Abby Campbell.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what we can do as a team. And I think having last year, being able to learn the system and just be able to play with each other, I think that's made a big difference for this season.
Awaiting Stony Brook in the playoffs is one of 3 teams: UAlbany, New Hampshire, or host UMBC. And although the road won't be easy, the team has their 3rd Americas championship firmly in sight.
I came back this year to win a ring, and that's what we're going to do.
For the Stony Brook Media Group, I'm Sasha Podzor.
Thanks for covering sports for us, Sasha. Now we have some big news. A total of 107 Stony Brook medicine physicians have been named top doctors on New York Magazine's 2021 list. That list represents the top 10% of New York area physicians. Not only is that number impressive, it's the fact that these doctors range across 45 different specialties. And to get that list, tens of thousands of practicing physicians across the U.S. were surveyed. The list includes doctors from Stony Brook University Hospital, Stony Brook Southampton Hospital, and Stony Brook Eastern Long Island Hospital. Top doctors featured include Dr. Carmen Tornos, Dr. Roger Fan, and Dr. Patricia K. Coyle. I'm Melanie Formosa. Now we have Shayla with our Thanksgiving update.
Thank you, Melanie. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and so is the concern for a turkey shortage. The pandemic didn't spare turkey farms from transportation and supply issues, making fresh turkeys this season hard to find. Fresh turkeys are always in high demand this season, but with distributors struggling to meet those demands, the turkeys at hand are going fast. You will still be able to find a frozen or an extra large turkey in your neighborhood supermarket, but a fresh turkey, not so much. The shortage is not caused by the number of turkeys, but rather by the national labor shortages, like the truck driver shortage. The labor shortage is also hitting hard at the beloved tradition of Black Friday. Demand is high, but inventory is not. According to experts, the supply chain crisis is going to keep on affecting prices and supplies well into the Christmas season. Big companies are sparking their Black Friday deals earlier this year to urge customers to shop before the shelves are empty. Back to you, Justin.
Wow, thanks, Shayla. Hopefully Santa's elves at the workshop fix the shortage before the December holidays come around. We'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving for the next 2 weeks, but we wish you a holiday filled with warmth, surrounded by loved ones. Catch Stony Brook Media Group back here December 3rd for our Holiday Spectacular show. Until next time, I'm Justin Mitzelmaker.